Hello, hello, hello. Just getting things underway here. If you're watching the pre-show, welcome, welcome. You're probably watching this later. You're not watching this right this second. But Chris Courtney here, new Pragmatic. Just getting a new week underway. I love good news. Good news is great. I mean, when the world's on fire, good news is just that much better. And we got a little good news. Congratulations, Kara. Baby arrived a little early, but hey, it is what it is. It's you'll always take a healthy baby, and from all indications that Kara has given us, everything must have gone fantastic. So super excited for her. We've been basically on this journey the entire time she's been in the program, because I guess it's been about 9 months. So there you go. A pre-pandemic baby. But that's just fantastic news. I cannot be more excited for somebody who's got a bit of joy in their life, and while the rest of us are dealing with whatever it is that we're dealing with. Otherwise, pretty light load today. I was going back and forth with Chelsea. She's working on a really cool project focused on retrofitting public schools and doing her research cohort construction, and getting a lot of responses really fast on that survey. The fact that she sent it out over the weekend and has already basically got her cohort built, and it's now Monday morning. I mean, that's good turnaround. So we were working over the weekend on some of her stuff, and hey, it looks like CouchBot's right here, so I can't think of a reason to hold back and not go. So why don't we just roll this thing back up to the top, and we'll leave the station. All right. So greetings, one and all. Chris Courtney here, new Pragmatic. It is time for the feedback loop. So good to have you along. It's Monday morning. And Good News Monday. I love good news. Kara, congratulations! Got a new baby in the family. The first new Pragmatic baby that I'm aware of. That's the first student that's been in the program that's had a baby. Of course, the program's not quite. Oddly enough, the program is about 9 months old. So, is the program itself a baby? I'll leave you to decide that. But congratulations, Kara. Did some work with some students over the weekend. Most notably, Chelsea is already reporting that she's basically got her research cohort built, which is really great. She was working on her survey. Of course, we use surveys to lead into that cohort, because we use that for testing, and we use that for interviews and so on. So she was working on her school project survey, and over the weekend released that, and then boom, Monday morning has a cohort. That's just fantastic turnaround. So great work, Chelsea. Otherwise, pretty quiet. We did released a couple of new things over the weekend. For those of you who are watching along, and there's a new I'm going to call it an outline, a guide, if you will, for hosting remote sessions. I've talked about this previously, mostly in like the competitive testing exercise, but I decided to break that out and expand on it a little bit, because we do a lot of remote participation, where we're trying to get people to come in, work with us for tasks, or we're trying to interview people. And it's good to have that information just kind of on its own. It doesn't necessarily need to be with, here's how to run an interview, or here's how to run a testing session. A remote session is a remote session. So I broke that stuff out. And also, one of the more complicated pieces of the remote session is just setting up Calendly, which Calendly is a fantastic tool, but a lot of people, they know how to like create an event, but past that, there's a lot of different ways to kind of get lost in it. So I wanted to walk people through some of the more nuanced things, like how to set buffers, how to set up a custom time schedule, things like that. So we'll walk through that. That's a video. It's over on YouTube. I will I've linked it in the Discord channel. If you're watching this and you're not part of the Discord channel, go to newpragmatic.com, smash that join the community button, and that will get you in the door for that. Anyway, let's get to some work because Rebecca's here, and Rebecca's got a pretty simple project this morning. She's working on a client project, and this is for a client. And full disclosure, some of the work she's doing is NDA related, so we're not looking at the totality of the project. She's basically been sent by her client some style guides, and she's trying to determine how to translate that into how do I translate the color usage that they have into clickable buttons. And I think it's a very logical question to have. A lot of it depends on how you decide that you're going to go about color usage. And I would say that, first of all, looking at the guides, I'm going to turn off my there we go. Looking at the guides, I would stay away from these third colors. While I like them as colors, the pink and the blue, it says here, third palette is used only for dimensioning and annotation within specific documents. Style books are similar. The main color is magenta. Light blue is used if legibility is compromised when used on the elements to be specified. So those are really meant for like side notes, so I'd stay away from those. Your main palette is down here. Now this is grays. So I could see this being used for a static state. Not for, you wouldn't want to use it for rollover, or if you've got something that's supposed to be inactive, I could use it there. But here, this is where we're really at. These are the corporate colors, and I just want to read through. Mainly used as background for corporate documents or for the graphics that accompany some pieces of stationery. The green predominates with a small detail in orange. For the use of color in communications, the proportion is inverted. So increase the usage of orange over green. Okay. So it seems like that they're good with the green, but it says in communications, for use of color in communication, the color is inverted. So that leads me to believe that this is more orange than green. I would really look at this a couple of different ways. Obviously not that green. I'm kind of taking a look at what you've got. So that's LinkedIn, and that's like LinkedIn hover. So the question I have with this, and I'm just going to create a couple of squares here, just so I can kind of get a sense of what this is really like as we move into it. So I'm going to come in here and select this one. So there's our green. There's our orange. Let's get that up here and so we can use it. So right away we got this request a demo thing, and it looks like, yeah, you're using the orange already. Workplace safety made easy. Okay, so I could see this a couple of different ways. One, I could see coming in with the orange and just saying, okay, the orange is going to be the active color. All right, it's going to be the action color that I use, and there's a couple of different options. When clicked, this could, when clicked, this could go green. It could be, you could go pretty jarring and have this just on rollover change to the green. You could also go the material design route, and on hover, dirty this up to go down a bit. You know, when you do this, it allows the action color to remain while just kind of going down a tad. Another way to look at this would be to simply come in and I think the actual number is more like that, and then you just you multiply it, and that gives you the on-off state right there. So if you decide that you want to go more pronounced, you could use the main color as the rollover, or the click, and if you wanted to go more material design subtle, you could do something like this. So that gives you a couple of options. I could also see a situation where you go the other direction with it, and instead of muting this down, you let's take it to normal, and then let's take it down to like 20 this way. So you go the other direction with it. You could go up. Typically speaking, when I see something go up in material design, it's on a dark background. So like this sort of interaction comes up. If it's on a white background, it goes down. So I would say take a look at those as well. But that's kind of the range of options that I see for this, as far as these color, like this action button, the CTA goes. Now up here, you have home, and then you have the underscore. The question I have is, what makes the most sense there? Does this green work for that? I personally like the orange there, but so if we had this in there with the green, like it works pretty clearly with this, but for some reason I'm going back to their note on communication, I'm thinking that they want that to be orange. And I don't necessarily think, I think you've got your grays here, and that's where I think you want to be. I'm also going to hop in here with, let's just say home and bold, and get that color in there, and probably 14. Looks pretty close. 16. 15. So I think it's something like that, to be honest with you. I don't think the green is too subtle to use here anyway. It's just too close to that gray. I think it's extremely difficult to tell anything's actually been activated, aside from the underscore. I do like the underscore once it's actually used, but this is so close to that to this information that it's just not going to show up aside from that being there. So I think for your nav, definitely it's the orange, and then you've got some decision making to do here. I'd probably go right here. I'd probably go a little more material design, but really that's your call. I don't think there's a wrong way to do it. Now, when it comes to like these rollovers, like for the social media, like it goes from gray. Again, when we think about this, I'm just going to copy this up. Let's just pretend that we've got LinkedIn. That green is just so dark that it's just not going to give you a lot to work with. And I'd say the same thing to the client if they were like, "Oh, we really like the green." It's like, well, if that's the case, I need to change. If they really like the green, then what you have to do is you have to come down here and say, okay, well, I've got to change this to a gray that will give me a little more to work with, and I'm not even sure if that's enough. I think you've probably actually got to go to the third tier. So if they're okay with if they're okay with this being light gray, then you can pull the green in, okay? But you don't want light gray on these, right? So I would say that, overall, it's kind of like you're backed into a spot unless the resting color is actually the green. And if the resting color is the green, that's so close to the dark anyway. Then you could do that. The only question I have there is, do you really want the resting color for this, for like industries and all that, to be the green? It could happen. I mean, like Global Holdings is already in that green, so that would work. Nothing wrong with that. You just can't go. You can't go from the dark gray to the green. Not enough difference. You can go from the green to the orange. You can go from a light gray to the green. You can go, and then you can go from orange to a shade of orange or a tint of orange. I think those are really your three combinations. I think anything with if the base color is dark gray, it's orange. You're not using green there. Yeah, and I think that's about really all the guidance I've got there, and I think otherwise, you're doing fine. We looked at this last week, offline, of course, kids, and we kind of discussed the other sections. So, this is a good problem. This is a good question to ask, actually, because it's not really clear cut what to do with it because of the nature of their main color and the fact that in the documentation they say, oh, and yeah, you can totally invert everything. And it's that inversion that inserts a lot of confusion on, well, what can I do? But because of that inversion, it allows you to do more with the orange, which is a much better CTA color to utilize anyway. So yeah, that's really where I'm going to leave it at, Rebecca. And it looks like the loop is clear. Like I said, Chelsea's doing great. Kara, I imagine you're doing fantastic now. With the baby here, your July is going to be interesting. And the one thing I'd say to anybody who's going through, like, you've got major life things going on, like Kara's having the baby. That's fantastic. There are other people that I know that, like, they had to split from where they live at because they wanted to get away from the pandemic and go shelter in place somewhere where they could maintain their sanity. And to those people, I say the same thing. Focus on making sure you're in a good spot, and then once you're ready for this, the program's here. You can come back in. You're always welcome with open arms. Everybody's welcome with open arms here. So take a minute, catch your breath. This isn't going away. All right. So that is all I've got for today. Remember, if you're watching this, the Discord channel is how you get involved. That's how you find out about the live stream. That's how you find out about what's going on in the program. Like I said earlier, we released some new material over the weekend. You could find out about that on the Discord channel. Also, if you're interested, if you're looking for mentorship, this is the place to be. Go to newpragmatic.com/mentorship to find out all the details about that. And yeah, that's all I got, folks. I will see all of you again tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day.